Me and my parents, they always talk to me how I should be thankful, how I'm at home, like I could be somewhere else living on the streets and stuff. When you see them on the side and they don't really have anything, you think about all that you have. It's like, wow, and you just want to give back, help them out. You know, just something little, just give them $1. You never know what that dollar could do.
The impact that God given has on the community is that it shows that people care. It shows them that people are willing to come back and give them the time, affection, food, just that time. And I think that's important because most of the time homeless people don't think that people care, or they think that they're out, they're alone, and no one wants to help them out.
I don't even think we'd be in this situation right now. I just believe in giving to people, no matter.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mike Haney. Welcome to 60 Minutes in Black USA, Black America. It's good to see each of you. I promise today will be an exciting show. The clip you just saw was God's Giving Hand. It's a fundraiser that we started last week on my birthday, and today's the very last day. We've raised over $2,000 for Rico Crawley and God's Giving Hand to help them feed the homeless. So I just ask, if you have $1, $2, $5, $100, go to God's Giving Hands, and let me post the link for you to go to the GoFundMe page so that we can continue to support Rico Crawley and the phenomenal mission that he does with God's Giving Hand. In order to keep what we have to give it away. Time, talent, and treasure. I hope you all had a great week. I know my week got off to a fantastic start. Last week, I was, as a part of the Women's History Month, I said, well, why continue to go and interview people that, are famous or whatever? And, I said, hey, my mother's famous. She's famous to me. My aunt's famous. And you'll hear some other famous people that I have in my life as well, famous to me. Versus getting Michelle Obama. And I kicked Michelle Obama off the show last week and said, hey, I'm going to bump you, Michelle. We'll get you on it sometime, but I'm going to bring my mother and my aunt on. And I so much appreciate the support because it was the second highest show on the Black USA Network last week. Hundreds of viewers tuned in. I didn't know how it would go. I got some phenomenal comments. Many of you went to God's Giving Hands link, the GoFundMe page, and you even did a donation. So I really appreciate that. But I just want to say how much I love and care for my mother, my aunt. My aunt was a hoot. She's just dead honest, just as these young ladies that you'll see today are. And here again, I said to myself, as we wind down Women's History Month, why not go out and get some women of color, some everyday women that we see next door, that we see at work, and give them an opportunity to share their life story and see what's up with them. And we have some phenomenal stories out here. So we don't always have to go and get someone that's of high stature like the vice president or even the Supreme Court justice nominee. We can look right next door in our own backyards and recognize the achievements of women that we see every day, because we know that the backbone, at least in the Black and I think the Hispanic community as well, and communities across the world in terms of communities of color, the backbone is the woman. And so today, I am so happy to have 4 women here. And I got to tell you, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how it's going to go. I just know I'm going to take this tie off so I don't get choked. There's nothing worse than getting choked by your own tie. So I'm going to take this tie off. And I have been sweating all night because I said, dag, Rhonda, Deb, Kim, Alicia. No, not Alicia. Her name is China. And we got to find out why she has the name China. But let's bring them in and begin this. I was going to say salacious. I don't know how the interview is going to go. I just know we're going to have a great time. And let me see who I bring in first. Well, maybe I should bring in the toughest, the the one that I'm just afraid of the most. Let's see, who is that? Who do you think that is? Okay. Hey, Rhonda, how are you?
I'm wonderful. Good afternoon.
Rhonda, it's so good to see you, and thank you so much for appearing on the show today. Really looking forward to a great conversation with you. So how's things in Atlanta?
It's going well, and thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
I feel truly blessed to be on your show. But yeah, everything is well. We're having a beautiful day today. I was planning on doing the interview outdoors, but the pollen is so bad. I probably would have it all over my face by the end of this conversation.
Well, we don't want that to happen, but let me bring a couple of your fellow stars in here, and let's bring Deb. Hey, Deb, how are you?
Hi, I'm good, Michael. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Deb, where are you?
I'm in Oakland, California.
You're in Oakland, so that's like 3 hours. That's on the other side of the world, huh?
That's on the other side of the world from both of you, yeah.
When I met you over 40 years ago, we didn't have this kind of technology, did we?
No, we didn't. I don't think we had. I think I was just an engineering student, so I was just learning computer programming on big computers that took up an entire room. So no,
Wow.
This technology was not here.
And we didn't even have the cell phone, did we?
Nope, did not.
I'm kind of dating myself.
I think we might have had
be quiet.
We might have had beepers.
We have beepers.
We might have had beepers. We might have had
beepers.
Yes.
Wow,
yeah,
man, that goes back a long way. Well, let me bring someone else into the stream. What are you laughing for? We didn't even get started.
Because I was laughing when she said beepers. Yes, I was really yes, beepers.
How you doing,
Yes.
Alicia? What do you prefer? Do you prefer Alicia, China, Cha-Cha?
You know what? Yeah, Chi-Chi, China, Alicia, I answer to everything. So it's whatever
Chi-Chi,
you're comfortable
not
with.
Cha-Cha.
It's
not
Chi-Chi.
Cha-Cha.
Yeah, so whatever
what is
you are
Chi-
comfortable with today, I shall be her. I am all three in one. Yes.
Hey, listen, don't tell me that, but we know we're going to stick to Alicia or China, whatever I think about at the moment. So
There you go. There you go.
So where are you?
I am in Washington, D.C., and the weather here is very bipolar, just as my distinguished guest just mentioned. The weather is very bipolar here. So it's chilly yesterday and Friday. You could kind of have like a little light jacket on, and today you need back your hat and your parka. So it's just a little crazy right now.
I hear you. I thought I'd see a cowboy hat on you. I don't know. Matter of fact, we got to get into it later. I'm trying to figure out. I got pictures of cowboys all over about you, and you're so passionate about it. We got to deal with that. You know, we got to deal with that. So I'm definitely going to talk about the Cowboys in a negative connotation. And I know there's some people out there in the audience, in particular one, I know that's a big Cowboy fan, but I've never seen anyone as passionate as you. And I'm going to show the viewers a bit of your passion. I couldn't show them too much because we would have had to put a parental advisory up on the screen if we had showed them too much. But I'm going to pre-warn you parents, if you got any little kids coming in, when I say that China's video is about to play, plug your kids' ear or just turn the daggone thing off, please. Oh my God, man, you are absolutely unbelievable. But we'll deal with that a little later. So let's add our last person in. Where's she at? Where'd she go? There she goes. Miss America. I'm not even going to try. What's up, Kim?
Greetings from the Queen City of Charlotte, North Carolina.
Woo! The Queen City.
So
why do they call Charlotte the Queen City? Because I didn't feel like a queen when I was down there.
Well, there was a queen once upon a time called Queen Charlotte. So that's where it derived from. But we are having some really good weather here. We have a new soccer team. Charlotte FC, I think they won their first game last night. So we're excited here in Charlotte with all the exciting things that's going on here. And it's a pleasure to be on this journey with everybody that's on here.
Yeah, well, you know, it's a pleasure to have you all on here because, as I said, for me, and you know, it's a serious moment. I tell people that if I don't feel in my gut and my heart the people that I have on the show, then I'm wondering why I do it, And so to be able to hear, life stories, life journeys, cry a bit, laugh a bit, because we know women of color are the backbone of our world, truly the backbone. And why don't you deserve to be honored? If this is an honor for you, I know it's an honor for me to have all of you on here. So let's get right to it, and let's just kind of kick it a bit. And there really is no format. I've got a couple of thoughts and questions for a couple of you as I've done some research on you over the years. And so why don't we just start with Rhonda? Rhonda, so what has life been, and what are you doing now professionally? And, just kind of what are some of your passions?
Well, when you mentioned
well, hang on a second, Rhonda. Hold on a second. So let me go up here and try to play, okay? Just to give, because Rhonda has been married for a number of years, and so she still likes to take care of her single girlfriends. And Rhonda, let me try to play this thing up here so that we can see.
Me.
Yeah, man, I want you to be scared. Okay.
Oh.
And we're gonna play this.
Your ski trip.
You are so cruel, Michael. He is so cruel.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Those are some strangers I met. It was good.
Nice.
Okay, Michael, you need to explain what's going on there. That was during the Black Ski Summit, the National Black Ski Summit.
Nice.
That was in Aspen in February.
Nice.
So my husband, he's a skier. He's an avid skier. So he left me pretty much by myself the entire time. So I was just walking around meeting all of these beautiful Black people that not only ski, but they also do the boards, boarding as well. Snowboarding.
Oh, wow.
And these men and women of all ages. I met women in their 70s that were avid skiers and telling me they've been skiing since they were kids.
Nice.
And seeing the little children, like 4 and 5 years old, on skis. So I took lessons, and I made so many tumbles. It was ridiculous, but I had never experienced snow because I am from Texas, from Southeast Texas, near Galveston. My hometown is Beaumont, so I'm on the Louisiana border of Lake Charles and Houston.
So you say you're from Beaumont, Texas?
Beaumont, Texas, yes.
Wow. Now there was a former, so Baltimore has someone from Beaumont, Texas, that a guy named Bubba Smith. He was a great, I think, defensive end for the Baltimore Colts. Is he the most famous person from Beaumont?
Other than myself?
Oh, that's right. I mean, am I kidding?
Well, Janet Joplin was was the first to be recognized. And then you had not John Madden. He's the former football coach for the Dallas Cowboys. He does he's a commentator. Tom Landry.
No.
Not John.
Come on, China. China.
Oh my goodness, he coached in Miami. Oh my God.
You talk about Jimmy Jones. Jimmy Johnson. You are no Cowboy fan.
Johnson.
You are no
Cowboy.
You are a fake Cowboy fan from Washington, D.C. that just hates the Redskins, whatever y'all call them up there. But go ahead with your story, Rhonda.
I'll keep it brief. But yes, so we just celebrated. They just had the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, and that lasts for about a whole month in Houston. And I was down there briefly for that. But yes, so I'm from Beaumont, Texas, and moved around. I've been in the radio business and media, electronic media business since the late 80s, meaning I worked for Clear Channel, started in that industry, went into management as in marketing and sales for Clear Channel, and now it's iHeart. So Clear Channel at that time only had 5 radio stations. And the owner back in those days, when you worked in media, TV, you were hands-on with the managers and owners. And that has, of course, changed, as you are aware of. Like now Clear Channel is iHeart with hundreds of radio stations across the country and abroad. I work for Radio One now. I moved from Texas, from Beaumont to Houston, and from Houston to Charlotte is where I met Kim, who's one of my dearest friends. And from Charlotte, I moved to Atlanta with Radio One, which is Urban One. The founder is Kathy Hughes. So I'm sure you guys are familiar with that. So I'm in advertising and marketing for the Atlanta market, and also represent some of our other markets. My background is in me representing myself to advertisers, that products and services that we use, and trying to get them to invest their dollars back into our community. I mean, if I use your skincare product, wear your eyewear, your apparel, your jewelry, well, you need to be marketing to me. If I buy your TVs, anything, roofing, which has been it was a challenge before, trying to get these type of advertisers to invest money in the Black community. They always felt like, Black people had no money. We didn't have credit. We can't buy this. We only buy pre-owned used cars at a used car lot. Well, of course, that's not the truth. So we tell our story. So I love what I do. I get paid well for what I do, but I love this, and I'll continue to do this as long as I enjoy it. And the other beautiful thing about it is when I'm doing events is tying in various companies, like a heating and air company is one of my large clients, tying them in with what we do in the community, because they don't know. So when one of my clients had a recruitment fair, they were trying to recruit plumbers and people that know how to fix HVAC systems. They thought we would only bring in like maybe 10, 15 African Americans to apply with that had the experience. We turned around and had 200 people show up.
Wow.
So that says a lot about, I love telling our story, because if you leave it up to Caucasians, nothing against them, they only can use data. They have data in their hands and reading off data, while we're talking about true life experience, saying, I use your product. I'm a Black woman. I mean, you pretty much would have to tell me that you don't want my business. And when you tell me, well, we're not advertising on urban stations, really. So Black people, you don't see us as a value. You don't see us as a value to buy a brand new Mercedes, a Tesla. So, which is not true. So that was a misconception. So that's what my background is in. I've won various awards. My personal life, I have one son who lives outside of Dallas, and 3 grandkids, ages 5, 13, and 16, and they're all they all play soccer. I rarely get to see them because they travel. And the granddaughter of mine, she's the tiniest and one of the only Blacks on her soccer team. She's tiny, and all the girls, she's like in the 8th grade, 7th grade, and she's now being recognized and playing with high schoolers.
Nice.
And,
wow, that is fantastic.
Yes.
So Rhonda,
yes, so that's
has anybody, no, that ain't the rest of your story, man. We're going to get to that a little later, but that's a good start. Good thing it's only an hour show, because all of you all have some remarkable stories. But has anybody ever said to you that you look like Mary J. Blige?
Who's Mary J. Blige?
Okay, like I told you, let me loosen one more button. Here we go. Rhonda, let me leave you alone. Okay, Rhonda, let me put you on mute. So it's all good. I hear you. No, we don't want to do that. So next up, Deb. Deb, let's go to you for a second, Deb, and talk about you. You are a remarkable person. You're originally from, how do I pronounce it? Taunton,
well, I'm originally from Boston, and I was raised in Taunton, which is southeastern Massachusetts. I am a first-generation American on my father's side. My father's from the island of Madeira, which is off the coast of Morocco, and he also has Brazilian in him. And I'm second-generation American on my mother's side, same island. I was raised, my mother was born here, but she had to learn English when she went to school. So, and speaking of soccer, Rhonda, I was going to soccer matches since 1966.
Wow.
When no one outside of the Portuguese Latin community knew what it was. And I hated it. We had to go. But that being said, the one of the things, and I know we're not ready for the question, Michael, but it did prompt me about what my mother did in my life. My mother, I didn't have a quote unquote normal childhood. So there were no conversations with my mother like that. But watching her, I remember going to soccer matches and hanging out with all my friends which are usually Cape Verdean descent, which is Black Portuguese. And I consider myself, I present as white and I identify as Latin. And so all of my friends and I would be hanging out, and no one at these soccer matches spoke any English. So they're talking about all of my friends, and my mother speaks English the way I do and speaks Portuguese the way they do. And my mother laid into them so hard because they figured no one could understand what they were saying. They were talking horribly about them. And so that's what my mother is, in the same way that I do, brings a voice to people that either aren't aware or don't have a voice. So
hey, Deb. Let me play something for a second, because there's no to help you along a bit, so we can see the beauty of mom and some of who you're sharing. I just want to share a bit, as you're talking, because just a phenomenal story there. I mean, I think so. So hang on a second. Let's get this going and let's share this.
And I will know these people, I'm sure, Rhonda.
You say you will?
Yeah, I will. I'm sure I will.
Hold on a second. Let me figure this out. It's not coming through. So guess what? You get a pass.
Oh, I get a reprieve.
And it's so beautiful too. It's so beautiful. But we're gonna come back to that.
Okay.
We're going to come back to that later and play it a bit later so that people can hear it, because it's so beautiful about you and your family. But you talked about mom and you talked about being Cape Verdean, right? So the Cape.
No, not Cape Verdean. Oh, no. I was amongst the Cape Verdean community. I'm Madeiran. Madeira is like the wine. And again, it's off the coast of Morocco. So it's off of North Africa. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
I look forward to visiting there. Oh my God.
Yeah. It's a volcanic island. I've been. I didn't love it because I love the beach and I don't like rocks on the beach, and it was very rocky. So I love the island, but I like to swim in Barbados. But yeah, and for my story as well, what I found myself in math classes very early on was I was with all boys, because I was an engineering student at Northeastern way back before. I think I was the only female in the classes, actually. So I've always found myself amongst men in my probably in my daily life too. But yeah, that whatever role I play, I usually play in support positions, and I'm just now re-entering the workforce. But whatever role I play, I find myself again bringing voice to the people without a voice. When I worked for the city of Oakland, there was a situation where I was supporting a council member, and he would have very important items to bring up. And I used to do the PSAs on the cable channels, and I would tell him we need to let the people in the community know. And his attitude was, well, we just did a cable commercial. And I said, not everybody has cable. Not everybody watches cable. We might have to go to the laundromats. We might have to go to the rec centers. We have to go where people can get the information, So that's what I pride myself in being, my mother's child in that way, that she brings a voice to people without a voice. And I use the privilege that I have in presenting myself to help other people, So I know that if I say something to police, they will look at me differently, and I can say it and I can really fight. And there are many instances that I can give you of that, but that's for another time. We only have an hour.
Hey, well, listen, we're going to get back to you and some of your story and find out about your journey from Boston to Oakland, California. And by the way, shout out to Doug Bashir, who's out there in Oakland raising heck. And Doug, here's another voice for you. Here's Deb, and I'm sure he's going to want to connect with you. But Doug, when you mentioned city council, he keeps the pressure on for all people. So hopefully you guys will get a chance to connect when I'm out there next month, or I think in May, hopefully we can connect and, share even some more stories. So who's next? Well, we're going to save China for last because we may lose everybody in her video. And, but it's all good. So Kim, you are next, but let me just give me one more time to try to share a little brief video about Kim. What do you mean, oh God? It ain't that bad. It ain't that bad. Is this? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Here it is. Here it is. Oh no. That's China. We don't want to do that one.
It's not at the ladies' lockup.
This guy.
Yeah, but China, we got to definitely get to yours. We'll get to yours a little later, Kim. But Kim, you know, you just had surgery a couple of days ago, so I really am grateful for you being here, you know, and you seem to be making some remarkable strides in recovery. So thanks so much. So what's going on, Kim?
So I've been in radio, advertising, and marketing for the last 30 years. I've owned my own marketing agency briefly for like about 3 years. I'm with Radio One, like Rhonda. My expertise is mostly in entertainment. I have a lot of entertainment clients. I'll just be brief. Back in July, I was diagnosed with stage 1 breast cancer. And so it felt like the bottom of the world had just dropped from me, because I you know, you go and you have your mammograms, and then with COVID-19 coming into play, I didn't go in 2019 because you couldn't get in. And then I went in 2021 and they saw just a small, really, really small spot. And so, you know, when you'll have to go back and have that, you know, we want to come back and kind of look at it a little bit more, nothing major. So you go through that nothing major to your client, which was my client, Dr. Rochelle Brandon is my client, as well as my gynecologist. She had to give me that news on a Friday, I'll never forget. And so I've been on quite a journey, but it's, you know, it's been one that that I can honestly say that I'm thankful and prayerfully and praying to God that everything has come out so far so good. I was just telling Mike that I had surgery in November on the left breast to remove the cancer, and then a week and a half later they reduced my left breast. So I'm really getting a new set out of this, you know. Let me get me a new set. So I'm excited about that. I had my breast reduction on Thursday with Mike called. I'm like, I'm gonna be a little sore, but I'll be on the call.
I don't know what to say. I know when to shut up though.
So I'm recuperating from that now. But it's been quite a ride, and I can tell you this: your journey is your journey. You know, one thing that I didn't do was listen to, you know, a lot of people's stories, because you can just get crazy. Everybody's story is different. Everybody has their own journey to go down, and that happens to be mine. But in the midst of it all, I'm still standing.
Yes.
Amen.
Oh, absolutely. Amen. Well, you are standing. You are standing well. Prayers for you.
Amen.
And thank you so much for sharing that, Kim. Now, Kim, you know, we're not going to talk. Kim is famous to me because I met Kim like over 22 years ago, as well as Rhonda. And it was when I was running a major hotel. And Kim is classy. What do you call it? Classy diva is your business?
Classy divas.
Yeah.
And she is so worldly. She is so spiritual. And then she has the audacity one Friday evening to have a strippers party at my hotel.
You remember that, Rhonda?
She said, Mike, don't worry about it. Only going to be 25.
Was it a Yams event?
Women.
Yes.
They had 300 judges, doctors, lawyers. I'd never seen so many $100 bills in my life.
It was a beautiful thing.
I said, oh my goodness.
Michael had told.
Oh my goodness, Kim. So Kim is very versatile. Very versatile. And then they went to church on Sunday with the people that attended. So I can never figure that out. But you know what? It's all good. I learned my lesson, you know. Watch those media women.
I appreciate that opportunity, because let me tell you how I met Michael. When I met Michael, I had gone out to
I got this mute button here.
The hotel to call on him for some advertisement. And when I walked in, I was, young girl thinking I got it going on, And so I walked in there, and Michael was quite arrogant. quite at the time. And I'm doing my sales pitch, and he just kind of looking at me like I'm crazy. And I'm picking. I'm like, you know what, dude? I don't feel like this today. I got up and said, you know what? I'm out of here, buddy. And then he just, when I did that, his face, he looked at me like this, and he says, you know what? You my kind of girl. Because you didn't break my picture. That's how we met.
Well, all of you have that trait where you don't break. You know, when you look at strong women of color anyway, you know, and what they have to deal with, and we'll talk about a bit more of that in the second half. Matter of fact, China, we're going to let you welcome us into the second half, you know, with your shenanigans, right? We'll talk about the strength of the women of our community, the strong women of color. But you're viewing 60 Minutes in Black America. We've got Rhonda, Deb, Alicia, and Kim with us today as we wind down Women's History Month with these wonderful women of color. And I'm so happy that they're here. But 60 Minutes in Black America is hosted on the Black USA Network, which we're broadcasting 7 days a week now. Matter of fact, we got so many shows, I'm not even going to read it. You know, if you want to, go to the Facebook page or LinkedIn page, or go to our website, blackusanews.com, and see all the shows that we do have. However, I will mention a couple. The Donnie Glover Show every Monday through Friday, 9 to 10, as well as Chap and Quita Monday evenings at 7. And of course, Doug out there in Oakland, California on Thursdays at 7 o'clock with the Black Business Roundtable. Doug is a phenomenal person. And then we also have on Tuesdays, who do we have on Tuesdays? Marsha Jews, the incomparable Marsha Jews on Tuesdays, as well as Carla Nelson with Conference Room Conversations, something that you young ladies would get into as they talk about business and business network and how we need to be more inclusive in the boardroom. So blackusanews.com, please check us out for all of the various shows we have. And next Tuesday, April 5th, on April 3rd, you will get a chance to watch an interview with me. You know, I rarely do interviews, and so I did an interview a couple of weeks ago, and David Murphy, and I know David's on here, and hopefully David Murphy will serve as the host next Sunday as we do a uncensored hour show showing an interview that David conducted with me a couple of weeks ago. And, you know, I thoroughly was humbled to be asked and thoroughly enjoyed it. And then April 5th, we have Bishop Curry. Bishop Curry, for you, those of you who don't know, married Meghan and Harry over in Buckingham Palace. And so Bishop Curry will be with me on August 5th, and we will be streaming live from St. Bartholomew's Church. If you're in the area, you're welcome to come and attend. We're going to take a couple of questions from the audience, and we'll be talking about the Lenten season. You know, Bishop Curry will be leading us and teaching us how the strength of prayer and how to pray. So I'm really looking forward to Bishop Curry, August 5th, 6 o'clock, Tuesday, a special edition of 60 Minutes in Black America. So now back to our illustrious phenomenon, you know. And we got to everybody except for this Dallas Cowboy fan. And so, as I said, before we get her, because I'm going to work this share until I get it. Hey, parents, if you got any kids under the age of 30 watching, please put them to bed or put them on the table. Let them go. I'm telling you now, okay?
Black History for Women's Month. What are we doing?
Hey, listen, man, listen. I'm only playing 10 seconds because the beep wouldn't go quick enough to beep everything out. But here, hey, listen, this is what's all about passion. Now, see, the beauty of it, if it was guys at football, et cetera, no one would think nothing of it. But when you got someone like this here doing it, people are like, oh my God, what did she say? So watch the comment. So we're going to figure this out. We are going to figure this
out. I hope it doesn't work.
You know,
I think we're related.
I know you hope it doesn't
We're related?
I think we're related.
There you go. I know. You from Boston, I know. We have to be.
It is going to work. Okay.
It's gonna work.
And I am not going to, okay, yeah, there we go. There we go. There we go. And I'm going to let this, hold on 1 second. Where we at? There we go. We're going to add that right to the stream. You see it? And we're going to, here we go. So I got to stop it real quick, though.
I saw the writing on the wall. How the fuck did he not see it? And I'm sitting home. That's why women should be head fucking coaches. And
so there you go. So you talk about passion. Oh my God. Hey, and that was a calm one, right? But the point of it is that what I really want you all to hit home with, and I know Kathy Evans, you out there because you just as crazy, you know what I'm saying? You may not know the words yet, right? So she said that women should be coaches in the NFL.
Yes, we should. Yes, we should.
So talk about that, China. Talk about that.
Well, I'm a COO. I'm almost too embarrassed now to say that I'm a COO of I'm a COO of an amazing charter school in Washington, D.C. It's a high school. But the kids know my passion. They know my passion for sports. I mean, my CEO, the founder, he is too. We kind of have involved that whole caveat into the school, especially being here in DC and, you know, NFC East just being such a crazy division. But I'm a 53-year-old mom of two amazing daughters, my birth daughter, and then I actually became a foster mom to one of my students who attended Richard Wright Public Charter School in DC. But yes, I am officially a sports junkie. I love all sports, and I get that from my mom. My dad, I'm the product of a dad that was born in 1918. My mom was born in 36. So my sisters and I had old hats as parents. And my dad worked for Metro. My dad was one of the first Blacks to actually drive the bus for Metro, one of the first three. You know, because after the riots, you know, after the loss of, you know, MLK, the Blacks were only allowed to be mechanics. And the white drivers were being beaten as they were trying to drive through the city, and they refused to drive anymore. And then they went down and finally asked the Black mechanics if they wanted to drive after they had been begging for a chance to drive. And, you know, a lot of the men didn't want to cross the line. And my dad and two of his best friends were like, look, we got to start somewhere. And those three, they crossed the line, and that led for more of them to come across. So I'm the product of a change agent. And my mom was a homemaker and took care of me and my sisters and afforded us to go to Catholic schools. And we can get into that later about schools and education. But yes, my mom was.
So you got a Catholic school. You got a Catholic school upbringing.
My potty mouth is that.
So let us pray. Let us pray. Yes. It's all good.
Pray for me. Me too. I'm sorry. I was born in a Catholic state, but you know, on Sundays, my mom, after we went to church, it was all football and a bunch of different words that we all learned that was outside of the classroom. So, but I definitely am a sports junkie. Had I known that we were going to talk about sports, I would have been able to have my sports junkie hat on, and I would have said Jimmy Johnson very quickly, my sister from Galveston, very beautiful. One of my adopted sisters and I, we traveled to Galveston last year. Very, very beautiful place. I like very magical. I enjoy Galveston, and she actually is from Louisiana. So we had a really good time. But yes, Mike, I am a sports junkie. I talk my trash on Sundays. That is my time. And I make sure that I'm not friends with anyone that, you know, will pull back funding from my school so that I can talk my trash on Sundays.
Well, that is fantastic. I hear you, China. And you have always been passionate. And like someone said, they said passion is what? Passion is contagious. You know what I'm saying? And it's always good to be around you, because I remember when we had 800,000-900,000 kids on a Saturday for track meets, I knew that was one person that always had my back, and that was you, because you was just as crazy and sick as I was, and you didn't care what the parents said, whatever, you send them wherever they needed to go, and you tell them whatever they needed to hear. Well, you know, it was so good to hear each of you talk a little bit
Michael,
about
I have a question, Michael. Who is China?
Sure.
Who is China?
That's Alicia. That's Alicia.
I want to know the
China, how'd you
history.
get
I want to
that
know the
name?
story.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I agree, Deb.
Well,
I want to hear the story.
Oh, Lordy Pete. Well, as a freshman at University of Maryland, College Park, I indulged. And since you threw out
what are you talking about?
Since you threw out how foul I am at the mouth, I guess I can tell this story. I would go across the street to the VU. If any of the University of Maryland College Park people on here go across the street to the VU, and if I do a little bit of libation, my eyes get a little squinty, and they started calling me China woman on campus.
Okay.
And China stuck. I'm gonna get you, Mike. I'm gonna get you.
Hey,
I love the story.
I didn't say anything.
I did too.
I didn't say anything.
I love it.
Had a.
That's a good story.
I am
30
crying.
30 years later, I'm still China. Yes.
I am crying. I am laughing so hard, but this is what it's all about, And
Yeah.
guys, I got to tell you, whenever you get supportive people, particularly women of color, this is what it is, But if you get them wrong, man, this could be a gangbang. That's what I took off my tie, because I wasn't gonna mess with you guys,
Yes.
But I do have a couple of questions that I wanted to ask the group, and how you answer in any particular order. I'd love to hear from each of you, but whoever starts off first or whatever. All of you have been working women, career women. How was the workplace for you as women of color? Do you experience discrimination? How were you treated by men? Whoever wants to answer that question.
Well, I'll say for myself, pretty much respected, because most radio women have potty mouths, and so if you give it to us, we're going to give it back to you. So we pretty much were respected. Now when it came to, and Rhonda, you can chime in on this, car dealerships, calling on some of the car dealerships. I mean, that was a little discriminatory, I think, because they a lot of the car dealers were, I would say, good old boys, and why are we there trying to call on them to advertise for cars? So yeah. I did see some in that arena, but not too much.
Yeah, you're right in that arena, because again, like I mentioned before, they feel like Black people don't have credit. And when they see a Black person walk, and now when I was in Texas, I did work for a country station, and I knew how to dress my apparel. And when I give them my card, it's like, yes, let's talk. But when you represent an urban station, it's like, no, you need to talk to this person. No, we're not advertising now. No, we're not doing this. But I'm like, but I hear you on all these other stations, none of them targeting Black people. So it's like having to re-educate them. But yeah, car dealers, were tough on Black people, because they say, yeah, you get, one of them told me at Lexus, yes, you guys bring the people in, but I'm not worried about the multitude of people. I need qualified people, not quantity. I need quality that are not credit challenged. So that's my problem with, he didn't want to say with Black people, is that, yeah, you guys can bring people in the stores, but they can't buy a new car. And that's not even just with cars. I'm sure all of us have experienced that, like when you're buying a home, any of this, because with the HVAC companies, they feel like we're going to call our friend that worked for a plumbing company, not the plumbing company, but somebody that worked for the plumbing company and does it on the side. Or even car repairs, we call Tyrone, who works at a dealership. So that the discrimination, the other discrimination, we have to admit, is like in management. They don't believe, I want to be careful when I say this, they don't give Black women opportunities in upper management roles. You don't see that. They rather see a Caucasian feel like they're smarter, they're well-versed than we are. So as it relates to talking to the major ad agencies, they rather see someone that looks like them, that mirror them. And we can all speak the same language, but they feel like, and these are even urban-owned stations, bringing in someone that doesn't look like us in upper management. And that does hurt. Now that does hurt in our industry. It really does.
It really does.
I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah.
Well, Deb, you had mentioned earlier, being an advocate for people, right? Even when you were at the city council. So how did they view you as a woman and then a woman of color? Did you feel as though you were looked at a bit differently?
Well, what's interesting is that the person that I worked for wasn't very concerned about people who couldn't vote. Let me just say it that way. So children he wasn't, concerned about that because they couldn't vote. So I took over that aspect, that I did the school and I did tourism. And then when he went for re-election, he said that I wasn't fitting into where they're going forward because he replaced his girlfriend with me. And so figured that now that he's gotten reelected, he can bring her back. So I just said, it's really interesting because you ran on the platform of schools, and that's that's what I take care of. And so it was a long process. I ended up doing a grievance against them. And when you do a grievance in the city attorney represents him, my union represents me, but they're in bed with the city councilors because they need to move their agenda items forward. So when they said to me, I would have a gag order if I accepted $5,000, and I said, this is not about the money. This needs to stop happening because it happened before me and I don't want it to happen after me. And I said, so I just didn't accept that. But so there's that. And again, he just didn't seem to care about it if they couldn't vote. Whereas me, I'm the person that brings a voice to the people that don't have one. But I can give you a very solid example about me being a woman. And I was assistant to the general manager of a hotel in San Francisco. And the person worked for a company that just came out of Utah. So it was very white, very not diverse, very not union. And I would warn him about things and he just keep on pushing forward. But one day I came into the office and he said, I'm going to add something to your job responsibilities. And I said, what is it? And we were having fights about the heat. So I jokingly said, putting the heat. And he goes, no, I'm going to have you make coffee. And I said, you want me? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. You want me to perform domestic duties on my job. I don't even drink coffee. Why would I make coffee? I was so livid. I was crying. And then I told him, and that's because I was so angry. And I said, I am really pissed off. And he said, well, you shouldn't feel that way. And I said, you don't get to tell me how to feel. You get to tell me how I react to how I feel. And then I went downstairs and filed a grievance against him. And when I talked to the HR person, she was like, he said, what? So how can you ask somebody to perform domestic duties in your, I told him, I wouldn't even know how to make coffee. I don't drink it. So anyway, that was a obvious in your face. Because I know that there are like microaggressions that happened, but that's you can't get any, it's like going back to Wally, Leave It to Beaver. So, and I had progressed in my life because earlier in my life, although you might not realize this, Michael, sometimes I didn't have a voice. And so I didn't express, I would just kind of, accept things. But at that point in my life, I was like, no, the buck's up. And about 3 weeks after I left, all his ties were slashed because it was a union hotel. He was doing ridiculous things. So they, but anyway, so that's a couple of examples I can give you from me.
Wow. China, now you are a COO. You started this charter school or co-started this charter school. You worked in upper management. So have you seen anything that, kind of like surprise you in terms of being a woman dealing with someone?
Yes. I can honestly say that right now, Dr. Marco Clark tapped me on my shoulder to assist him with opening up this charter school in DC, which is one of maybe, I think at this point, when we started, we were one of a multitude, but now I think we're down to maybe 5 out of maybe 90 some odd charter schools that are Black owned and run. So that is a whole different discussion. I told you I'll introduce you to him to speak, on that. But, with him, he does a really good job of making sure that people understand that, who he employs are people that are bringing what is needed to the table, well qualified. So that should automatically out the gate be respected, whether it is a man or woman. But yes, I probably am one of maybe, I don't know, I want to say maybe 15, 16 out of the charter schools that the COO is a woman. So I'm very, honored and thankful in that respect. But it really is hard, even in our monthly meetings, trying to have a voice, speak up. A lot of times I just kind of, fall back, and let them, bicker amongst themselves, because what we have going on is just over here amongst us. But within our building, I'm very well respected. I'm honestly going to say that a lot of the challenges have been garnering respect from other Black women that are not on the executive level, so to speak. And look at these beautiful pictures of all of us. I love it. I love that. Wakanda forever. Yes. So I don't know about my, esteemed colleagues here, but, that has been a little bit of an issue, which I, hate to see, because for the past 12 years, I've made sure that I was telling Mike this, that I have a weekend in January, MLK weekend specifically, that I invite up to 26 women to go to Deep Creek, Maryland. And we just go there and we, for 4 days, we unite. It started years ago when a lot of us, I had different groups of women that I've met along my way. I've been in education for almost 30 years now. So I have different groups of people, from parents of students that, I work with, because I started in Catholic schools as far as my educational employment journey. I started in Catholic schools, and then I flipped over to charter schools, and I've been in different charter schools until this particular one I was blessed enough to co-found. And I just have such a different dichotomy of women, and they would always say, well, oh, you're always over here with them, or we have something here this weekend, and would conflict. And I let everybody meet just so that they can get to meet other women. Because a lot of times, just from what I was seeing at work, that women that we employed that were great teachers, and they couldn't understand, well, why am I telling them what to do? So a lot of my situations have not come from men. It's come from other Black women who, would point the finger. And a lot of times they wonder, well, how did she get to be, COO? I don't even have to complete the sentence. A lot of times, we hear the grumblers of what people say and how they think we obtained our positions. We all have. So, to me, for me, that's been my fight and my struggle, to make sure that I'm, this, big boss in the building, and I, try to separate, quote unquote, church from state in the building. That's my little running joke in my mind. But, even with that, making sure that when I'm at the meetings, I'm not in, just in my mind, I'm wearing pants, wearing a long sleeve shirt. I've got on flats, just, to be sure that I'm being taken seriously for what I am bringing to the table, because I don't want anyone to just, look at me differently, or think I'm the angry Black woman because I'm speaking emphatically, and no, this is what we're going to do. And just like with us moving into our brand new multi-million-dollar building, I basically am this quasi landlord and having to deal with vendors. And I have my building engineer, but I still have to direct my building engineer. And they're surprised when he tells them that I have to go to COO, and then they see me, and it's like, oh, a female, this is COO. What, you know about the building, and you know about this, that, and the third. So, so it's that's just my arena and what I deal with. And I hear you. Brush it off. And you know how we ladies do. We just brush it off and we keep it moving.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's exactly what you all do. You're versatile, and you have tenacity, integrity, and you're smart. You figure it out. And I think that can be something that people fear. But question for you all, our time is winding down. This has been a great conversation. So, and I want you to just complete this phrase with just a very brief description. And I'm going to go in reverse order. So, China.
Yes.
So I wish I had listened to my mom and dad when they told me to. What did you wish, when you look back on your life, that your mom or dad may have given you as advice, if any? And is there anything that they told you that you regret that you may not have done?
Well, I want to be smart at the mouth, since I'm such a potty mouth, and say I should have found somebody that was like my daddy.
Oh my goodness. We only got 5 minutes left. Oh my goodness. Okay,
I'm gonna drop the mic.
So you can go ahead. You can go ahead and go off on them. You get ready to go off on them, huh?
I'm gonna drop the mic. I'm just gonna say that. But I mean, but again, my dad and mom, different era. Like I said, my dad was born in 1918. My mom in 36. Whole different, lifestyle and expectations and everything. So my daughter's father is a great person. We did a great job co-parenting, even though we weren't together. But I just, that I'm gonna leave it at that, because I listened to everything. I listened to everything else that they said, except for that.
I hear you. Hey, Deb, you want to answer that question?
I don't know of any piece of advice, but I would say that the one thing that I might have a little bit regret of for myself is that I didn't listen to me more. Because I think that we all know of our own inner voice. And just watching my mother, who was a real survivor, and how she moved through life, I am actually claiming that for myself a lot. Initially, there was issues there, and so I didn't do that. But now I realize her strength. So just seeing the way she moved and the way she was true to herself, no matter who you were, if she loved you, she was with you, period. And that's the way I pride myself in being as well.
Awesome.
Wow, I hear you. That's powerful. Listen to ourselves, our inner voice a little more. That's really God talking to us, I believe.
Absolutely.
You know, so Rhonda, how about you, Rhonda?
Pretty much what Deb said. I mean, same scenario. Listen to my voice. And one thing that was personal, they hated when I stopped playing the piano. When I got into high school, I didn't want to play the piano anymore. I got tired of recitals because I started liking boys in high school. But I'm taking lessons now. So it's just trying to keep that brain sharp. So I've been taking lessons now for the past year and a half. But yeah, and like continue my education. They wanted me to go to law school and I didn't see that. But I just wish I would have maybe gone in that direction. I love what I do. And you know, your parents are always trying to want you to be the best that you can be as parents, but they had their own private journey as well as ourselves. And look where we are, ladies.
Yes,
absolutely.
God made no mistakes. God made no mistakes.
Yes.
Hey, Kim.
Yep. I would say probably, even though I chose to go into radio advertisement, I wish I'd have listened to my mom and dad, because both of them are educators. One is a retired principal, the other one is a retired school teacher. I should have gone down that path. I think I missed a little something there, but it's never too late to go back and pick that up. Right, China?
Never too late.
Well, listen, you are educated. You've educated a multitude this evening. You know what I'm saying? Particularly relative to just, you know, health and ensuring that you do what you're supposed to do. You know, so 30 seconds. We're down to the last 3 minutes, and I want you guys to have the final word. You ladies to have the final word. Must be out of my mind using the word guys, but I want you ladies to have the final word. So 30 seconds, Kim. What advice do you have for young ladies, 20s or 30s, in terms of what advice? What's the quintessential advice that you would give to young ladies in the 20s and 30s that you look back on your life and wish you had done?
First, the thing I would tell them is follow your heart and your passion. Because if you enjoy doing what you like to do, you're going to be very good at it. And don't sell yourself short for no good for nothing, man.
I hear you. We're going to keep rolling to Rhonda, but you know, I got 3 daughters, so that is, you know, not advice that I would not tell them to listen to and call Aunt Kim. Well, matter of fact, they just got 4 new aunts today. So Rhonda, absolutely. So Rhonda, Aunt Rhonda, what would you say, Aunt Rhonda?
Well, at first I have to say I did meet your lovely daughter, and she's amazing, like her parents. But what I would say for these young women is, because in Atlanta, I see these young girls that don't respect their body. They don't respect themselves. It's like they're settling for anything. They act thirsty for love, I guess, because they didn't receive it, and you see that. And I'm sure, Alicia, you know this with the kids, and it just is sad and heartbreaking when I see these women, and they're very confused. And I just wish they could latch on to women and have goals, but more so respect their body and their soul.
Wow, that's powerful, Rhonda. Thanks for sharing that, Deb.
I would say that, to realize, for me, and I think it's probably true for a lot of people, is in your 20s, just have fun. And in your 30s, realize you decide what is yours and what was your parents. You take the good that you want to claim from them and realize, because when we come up, we just take on whatever they say we're supposed to do. And in your 30s, I think it's a real time to pause and realize who you really are and whatever you can claim from them in the positive, and then heal whatever is not so good. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, one quick note. Whatever they post on Facebook, make sure it's something that you would want your grandmother to see.
Yes.
Yes.
And your grandchildren eventually. Yes.
Yeah.
I tell my kids that all the time.
Yeah.
So China, you're going to take us out. We're down to our last minute.
I'm going to agree with Rhonda. Just being a charter school for journalism and media arts, we try to teach our student body, but the young ladies, most in particular, to watch what they post. And if there's anything that I could say, many of the adult women need to take the time to come back to the schools and talk to children, talk to the young ladies, say, hey, next time you have a women's forum, let me come and talk to these young ladies about, because a lot of these girls, they have moms at home and the moms are working 24 hours and not there to give them that extra guidance. And a lot of times social media, and I don't want to name any TV shows, but a lot of TV shows are grooming these young ladies. Yes. And they are not, it's waiting too long for them to realize that what they've learned is just incorrect and it's not right. So if I could say anything, I would say that we need to talk to each other. We need to check on other mothers to see, do you need help? Can I help your child after school? Or you work, and I see you working these hours, just to become more involved with each other as Black women and get to know each other as Black women and our struggles, because we all have them. So I would say just get to know each other, really.
Yeah,
I appreciate that. Yeah. Rhonda, Kim, Deb, Alicia, thank you so much. You've been watching 60 Minutes in Black America. We'll see you next Sunday at 6 p.m. You all have an awesome week.
It's been my honor, ladies.